Right.
Okay, welcome everyone.
It's not really, it can take you a while. Right.
What's your order?
It's getting better, thanks. Not getting that yet. I'm getting there.
Okay,
Good, Jared.
good evening everyone, that we all need to review.
What is that?
Good evening everyone, today is,
June 10th.
June 10th, 25, Village of Belmont,
Give me ours, Rick.
Board of Trustees meeting called to order.
6:33.
May we stand for Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the
to the
flag
flag
of
of
the
the
United
United
States
States
of
of
America,
America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry, we do have a handicap, I should have.
Yeah, let's wait till everybody changes over.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need to straighten out, okay.
I move the meeting be adjourned. Me and Gary got something we gotta do.
Something cold in the fridge?
May I
You
borrow
got a
your
hot little
agenda?
picture on them pitching now.
Yes, do you have another one? Okay.
That's one pitching her softball game now.
Oh.
Oh, exciting.
Okay.
No, I was looking through the agenda, I misplaced mine.
Mine?
Roll call please.
Gary here. Jerry here.
Barb here.
Herschel here.
Baby here. Linda here. And Linda J here. Thank you.
Here. Do you have any? I'll let you track it.
Okay,
Okay.
comments by the mayor. Welcome everyone. It's been a busy month. Water is what I was going for in there. I knew I was very rough, I sat down. We're getting ready to, have our dishes done into this week. Derek got his light, and, we got all our dually digs in today. I think there was 12 of them, and I will be getting them marked tomorrow. After that, we are scheduling for the fire department to clean out some culverts, and then on Wednesday, 18th, we'll be having the chip and seal done. I talked with Stacy. Tracy, help me out, Claudia. Our tower painting process. I thought that bids would be opening June 1st. The preliminary came out, and so bids won't be opening up until July 1st. And at this point, EPA is granting a 30% loan forgiveness. We were hoping for 49 or 50. It might be greater next month on the final report. So right now, we're looking at 30%. And then those bids will start in July, and they'll be open for 6 weeks, to my understanding. And then at that time, we'll select who's going to do the job, and we hope to have it done September, October. We'll see how protecting it is worked in. DCO grant is for the park, and we haven't heard anything more on that yet. Is that correct, Warren?
I haven't
Heard anything more on that? I didn't think so.
Do they give a time for when they would say it would be decided?
Well, we've been granted the money, but we can't start anything until all the paperwork is done. There's permits involved, the engineers take care of the majority of it. So,
Be a public hearing, I believe.
yeah, there's quite a bit still going on there. We did the tire recycle. I talked about that already. That was last month.
Yeah.
And we had 2 folks that participated in that. Large trash pickups. We did have some appliances that needed to be picked up, and I did come across some numbers in the paper that Herschel shared with me, and now I'll get that posted outside on the board. maybe in the window, I don't know which place is better to put it, of someone who's advertising that will come and pick up appliances. So if anyone has anything like that. Okay? Has everyone had a chance to review the April minutes, which were not passed last month? There was a correction to be made, and it was made and handed back out, prior to the meeting last Thursday, I believe. Any questions on those minutes? April? Ma'am?
I move those minutes be accepted.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The new minutes presented for the May meeting, any questions on those?
No.
Didn't see none.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve May minutes?
I'll move. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Wait, who made the motion, Barb?
Yes.
You're supposed to be recording that, you don't
I
have to
can't
write
write
it.
that fast.
And it'll also be
And
on,
the second was,
Don't you know shorthand?
no, I do
I
not.
do, I need to remember it.
and then, the bills and financials, remember we get a draft before the meeting, several days ago, and then on the table this evening was the, official one that's in the folders, the binder that has all the bills that I believe Commissioner Ray was flipping through, and after those are reviewed, we initial it on the top. If you have any questions, please bring them up now.
What form do we initial?
The one
top
in,
one?
the
Yes.
one in the fit, yeah.
The one you received, it looks just like it, except for it says draft. And so the one this evening is the, cause there's always a chance one or two bills may come in between Thursday and Tuesday.
Somebody else on it?
I've already reviewed it, I need to sign. Thank you.
I need to sign it too.
Oh, do I have to sign?
I don't think.
I don't sign anymore, y'all.
Rub that in our noses.
I
had
a
question.
My role.
Linda has a question.
Yes, ma'am?
How many streetlights does the town have?
Street lights? I don't know the exact number. I'd have to go around and count them. Do you have a problem with one, or you see one needs to be fixed, or?
No, I just wondered what merited to get the streetlight and how that was done,
Street light, usually, if you don't have an existing street light, like in front of your house, then you need to call the utility company, and they will put one in, but you have to pay a monthly, I don't know what it is.
Just for the quorum type thing.
Well, does the city pay for these streetlights?
Yes, and you'll see which ones are on our roads, and those are ones paid for. At your house, Linda,
Brenda has one next door to me, and that gentleman across the street has one.
Brenda pays for hers, doesn't she? I believe Brenda pays for hers, because hers is not a city provided. And I don't know about the one across the street.
Yeah, maybe we can turn it off.
Oh, you want it off?
You got a BB gun, don't you? You still got your drones?
I got 22.
Oh,
That
if
would hurt
it's your
you.
neighbor, you can look into that, discuss
No.
that with your neighbor if the light is
That's
bothering you. Okay, I'll see what I can do to,
It would just bother me if the town was paying for it.
oh, no,
No,
I don't
think they
think,
are.
I don't think the town pays
A
for
lot of people.
For
pay
his,
for their own.
no, not Brenda's, but
across the street.
across the
I'll see
street.
if it's a city light or
Motorcycle?
not. I don't know off
Yeah.
the top of my head which ones are or not, but, okay. I'm pretty sure the one on the corner across from me is a city light,
Yes.
that is.
I don't know why.
So
I did
that-
it, but I did.
That kind of makes me
Well,
think that the one at Both Suckers probably is too, because it would be exiting the town as we're and so it's probably a city light. I would think, and it's on the same side of the road as the other city light. But if you want, I can try to figure those out exactly for you, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was just wondering
Okay.
because
Mhm.
he should pay for his own.
Well, and if it is, he will, but if it's a city light, we pay for it. And we have a handful of them throughout the town.
Is it on city property or is it on his property?
Yeah, I'd have to go look.
Yeah, I have one, it's on my property and I pay
$10 a month.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And
One
Brenda
down
pays
there.
for it.
Where the football field is.
Yeah.
We're paying for that one.
Okay. Did you have something else on financials, Linda?
Let's see, how many street rates? I had to underline stuff. Who bounced the check here? Now, give me, did you see that awful thing?
Yes, I did.
Linda, I
What sheet
bounced
is
the
that?
check.
Well, now, Linda, why would you want to bring that out there on
Is
the
that this one?
I think it had to do with your
I was
situation.
$2.28, and it was, you
Oh,
know,
I'm sorry, but I didn't
I was
see
$2.28 short.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody took out that automatic one.
Well, I'm glad it got straightened out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does give you a fee, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Unfortunately, you see it on that, yes. Yeah,
All the dirt shows, right?
we are very transparent. What else there for you?
I had some questions on the road patchwork stuff and when and where and it's
Linda, if you recall, you and I,
Yeah.
we decided on where all the holes were.
mhm.
And so we arranged that to be done, prior to this meeting. It got done already. And we patched, the patch come with motor fuel tax money.
Mhm.
And so did the hired help to help us patch those roads. Derek Guys White, supplied a couple
Provided
of
to employees.
Yes,
Well, I get paid. I didn't know that.
you don't get paid for them.
But I passed.
Well,
Never
sorry.
mind.
That was a volunteer, right?
You drove the bus.
Yeah.
And I just saw something. I had a question over
Sure.
when excess of budgeted funds available over budgeted funds expenditure.
On that quarterly report on the end?
Well, this was
Oh, okay, on the audit?
yeah.
Okay, I'm not on the audit yet. We're just looking at the
This budget.
bills and financials
Okay.
that were presented this evening, that were
Okay.
paid. We'd like to be able to pay those bills this evening.
Oh. No.
And that was the list that we've gone through.
Want another check?
I think you already took care of that. You better have.
I did.
Okay. All right, so, if you don't have anything else on the bills and financials then that was presented this evening, may I have a motion to pass the bills and financials this evening?
I so moved.
May I have a second? And then all in favor?
Aye.
Don't you have to have a roll call vote?
I prefer, but I think you're gonna do just fine with that.
Didn't,
If you wanna state all ayes and no noes.
Mayor Johnson asked for a motion to pass the bills and financials. The motion was made by Jerry Rigg and it was seconded by Gary Lance. And after a roll call vote, all members voted aye.
or just say passed unanimously.
Yeah.
Very
Can't do
good.
that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good.
No, it's
All right, and then, next on our
In shorthand.
agenda is the water report.
Yeah. I thought she went out.
Flush the toilet.
She went to get the statistics.
Oh, she's got a chalkboard.
No, she got a big white sheet.
Oh,
She's got a 5-gallon can.
You guys are full of reason
I know.
Um,
Sorry.
so we've had, good readings in our chlorine at the tower and at City Hall. The tower today was 1.4, City Hall was 1.2, our level was at 120, and, pressures are good, maintaining 20 and 40. I've been checking I've been doing the readings, and I do them a little earlier than what Rick did them around 8 or so. I go around 6, you know, to get that done in my stage and start something else. And so usually the pumps are not running and not as, we're at a steady state when I go. It's important that we do read them about the same time every day. And, on my worksheet, you will see that I I've been reading at 6:05. This morning I actually read at 5:35 because I had, several things yet to do today. So
What's daylight?
I like to go at daylight.
Is that in the morning?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you wake me up all the time.
Right near your house. Well, nothing all is. So on the water report, I suspected a leak by the tower because there was a puddle of wet ground there. And my original thoughts was that it was a rut from the winter months and the water wasn't draining. So I trenched that so the water would drain. And Steve Moody, the
Trencher.
plumber, went through today, and he did not see anything obvious. He recommended that I go ahead and fill in the soft ground with dirt, and then watch to see if something else comes up. He does not see that there is a leak there. We do.
There aren't any bubbles there.
No bubble surface or anything. It truly was a trench, and then all the rain and just a new whole day.
How many years ago was that system installed?
96, I believe. 1996 was installed, not 96 And the well house 2 is still down. Horror Electric had hoped to get here last weekend. They did not. So I hope they come yet this week, and they will be hooking that back up. We are waiting for the insurance approval, but we're still going to go ahead and get the work done regardless. We just hope that we'll get some reimbursement with our insurance claim on that and on the tree removal up there. We did have just so everyone would be aware, sometimes if you show that a well house is running low water, like for some reason you only got 300 gallons that night, more than likely a breaker has slipped, and there is instructions up there in the well house that tells you what to do, how to reset that breaker, and everything is fine. We don't need to get too excited thinking that, the well's down or something of that sort.
Right, because one leg could be running, the other leg could be shut off. So it's just running like not even a garden hose pressure.
I like this one, Mr. Johnson jumping in on water. I think that this might be a good water person for us.
Buy me a backhoe.
Moving on. Let's see. There is a water leak up at the trailer park, and we can't really determine which one it is, but there's a good wet spot behind T 105, 106, and 206. So we're going to be, Steve and I will be working on that area and see exactly where that leak is. We don't think it's on a main. We think it's on just one of the service lines. The trailer on the north, there is no trailer, so there's no service there. The service on the south is turned off due to delinquent payment. But so there still is just a wet payment, wet ground, and we'll be having to take care of that. I don't think it's on the main. Steve said he didn't think so. So it will not probably result in any water being off at any time. Just right there where we're working.
Where you was working the other day, that can't be on our side.
Where was that at?
Beside that trailer. That first trailer on the south.
Oh, on the south?
Yeah.
That trailer had a leak, but it was on our side. And so we fixed it, and then it sprung another leak, so we fixed it again. I don't know how good the water system is to the trailer park. I can pretty well tell from my maps for the city, but when you get to the trailer park, there's just not a real good outline of what's going on up there.
No, I'm sure there's not.
But we do know that.
Did you go up and look it up?
No, I was saw her
Come
working
straight,
and I didn't want
straight
to.
north of that little house,
Yeah.
where should be a water line going out, like some direction, directly out. Well, the plumber thought, he knew where it was, and we started digging, and it wasn't anywhere near where he thought it was.
So,
It was way
so
off.
anyway, so we've got that figured out. That's been taken care of. It's fixed. And, but now we're gonna be doing another dig on down in the trailer park. And remember that those roads are owned by someone else. And so our only easement is starting on our lot and going between the trailers. There's, I don't know, it's probably a 15-foot easement. Those meters are about 10 feet apart from each other. So I'll have to ask permission to take a backhoe through someone's property to get into that area and work. But it has to be done because there is a saturated area. It looks like Steve didn't say it was a horrible leak, but it's something that definitely needs to be taken care of. And I don't know how quickly we'll be moving on that. His schedule's kind of full, but, we talked about the Julie dig and so forth today. He was got to begin today. I went up the other night and, emptied both meters, and I could not see a leak inside the meters. I was hoping that it would be that easy, but it's not. It's going to
Are
be
there people living there where you're talking about?
one trailer is occupied, but they do not have water supply to them at this time. So it won't be an interruption of their service. And along with the water, remember pump 1 is still in the shop, and we're still waiting for that to come back to us. We have an estimate for that to be repaired for the sewer. Yeah, for the sewer. Mm-hmm. But pump 2 holding just fine. They say 4 to 6 days. So,
What is it, the pump?
yeah, pump 1 at the lift station went down. They came out and, replaced the float and pulled the pump and took the pump back, and as you see, it was a pretty healthy bill for them to do just that service. And so overall, that pump is gonna, the service and the repair of that pump is gonna run us about $4,200.
Yeah, but think about the job it has to do.
Yes. So, but like I said, the lift station is maintained just fine on pump 2. The readings and the cleaning of the basket are being done weekly. All valves at the ponds are being exercised routinely, weekly also. So I'm not seeing any problems out there. I'm trying to keep up with the mowing, and so far that's doing fairly well. I've got a little bit of help with that. So that's water and sewer. Okay,
with all the rain it's really good.
thank you. They've been working hard on it. I've got a couple people mowing, and then, I did spray some weed killer out there, and, I asked, Rick Diaz is still employed with us, but, he has not had the opportunity to work with us as much. He's got a lot on his plate right now, and, but he's given me good direction of how to take care of things. Reports from trustees. Anything anybody needs to share?
Ballpark, rain's not helping us, is it?
Yeah, well, we're at a standstill till the
Yeah,
rain quits coming.
yeah. Shelter, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure we got to go ahead to buy the fence to go around there now. And we got the pipe put down our left field fence, and we still got to put the left one in, unless it got happened this weekend, and I wasn't here for it. But we're progressing, but slowly.
That's all that matters.
And as long as you guys are going down there and keeping the grass cut, I'm fine.
Eventually, we might need to ask you all to take care of that.
Well, see, that's another point I had this time, is because our mower's been in the shop since before Memorial Day.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, I do have help, and so we have been trying to keep up on it. Once you get it mowed, because, we had so much rain, things got so high, but once we got it mowed, as long as we can keep on it, I think it's looking nice, like Peggy said.
I agree with that, and we can do that.
Yeah.
And now we can.
Or when your mower comes back, I'd be glad to help you, if I could ride your mower. Yeah.
It's one of those zero turns, honey, I can't do one of those.
Well, what's going on with this little tractor with the mower on the back of it?
It's fine, it's up and running. Bill Randolph has done all the maintenance on it and it's ready to go. I've been
So the
told,
mower is actually doing its job.
to my understanding, yes,
Well, then that could be used down there to,
in the ball field.
I don't know. I've never used it, so I don't know if it's gonna mow or not. But it'd be an option.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're welcome to do that.
I'll be glad to help you.
Well, I know how to get in here now in case I need your,
The equipment, okay?
yeah. But I just don't do it because my mower is gone.
Barb, on the shelter house, I see that we're doing, pretty good on our funds on it. Have you thought any more about making any improvements in the shelter house?
Well, after our issue with the rain, we're going to price gutters, definitely, because I think we realized that was probably part of our problem when it
Yeah.
came in. Yeah, we
Okay.
need some gutters, and we're
Gutter
going,
guards, because of all the trees
Oh,
there,
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have that.
you know,
Oh, so it's gonna be just not
that,
simple.
and working on the floor inside.
Okay.
We're gonna get a price on that. We have local church Freedom. They're coming out every Sunday evening. They started Memorial Day weekend for a Bible study. And it's community outreach. They're trying to reach people in the area to come. We had discussed maybe would it be possible to give them a price break since they are guaranteed Sunday
Every Sunday.
every Sunday. Because, and when we worked out the agreement, I told them, it's really busy on Sundays a lot of times, it's this time of year and into the fall. And so they have agreed if someone wants to rent it on a Sunday, then they just won't. So we're not missing out anything there. But yes, as long as no one has it rented on Sundays, they're there.
Okay, and so currently we're charging them $50
Yes.
each Sunday, and so they're, asking if this is given some type of discount since they are dedicating themselves to every Sunday.
Right.
Um,
And we might be able to come out more frequently if we give movies, if it was $25, like on the weekday, we might be able to come out like on Sunday and on a weekday to show a movie,
Well, I never thought about, weekdays would be cheaper than any other time. But you're asked specifically for this, this service, this church, could we give them a discount because they are, locking in every Sunday? for
Right.
that, and yet willing to move on a Sunday if they move.
Right, so we'll always have an income for it on a Sunday, whether
Well,
it's
how much do you figure it costs to turn the lights on, the air conditioner,
we
and
didn't use, we haven't used
Whatever
the air
else.
conditioner yet.
for whatever, how many hours?
Well, we currently charge 50, and that seems to be making ends meet
Right.
okay, so,
So,
are you proposing that we give them half price? And so instead of it being $200 a month, let them rent it for $100 a month?
I don't go that far, maybe
I was
150.
thinking maybe give them 1 week free, so then be 150. Yeah, pay for 3
Yeah.
weeks and rent it for 4 weeks and pay for 3.
And we welcome any church joining us from Belmont. Well, in fact, we hope you all do.
Oh, were you part of the Bible study
Yes,
group?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, all right, okay.
And we really were hoping to get the public involved,
Mhm.
because when you get Christ in the community,
Yeah.
I think the crime rate goes down, and it's gonna be a lot better. I
Okay.
think. So, in all the churches that we are, David Campbell is Campbell or Johnson?
Campbell.
Yeah, he's the Bible teacher, but the Pastor Brad comes.
Is that
Oh,
right?
Garner.
Garner?
Yeah.
He's the one I wanted to put movies down there.
Right.
Yes, he had said that too, that, like, how far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm, with popcorn, we can do them indoor or outdoor.
She gave him.
And that was
Yeah.
part of our pitch that we used when we were asking for the DCO grant. We really wanted to pull the other communities in to be able to use our park.
Right.
Yeah.
And this would be considered, I guess, what, Browns or Freedom out
Probably Browns, yeah.
or
Yeah.
Cowling, in
Maybe
between
Cowling.
Browns and Cowling. Yeah.
when it comes to the fire department, it's the Browns.
Oh.
Okay, so,
I have a question. I mean, it probably doesn't have anything, I mean, while we're talking about shelter house. This grant that Belmont's been approved for the park, does the shelter house fall under that?
no.
Why does it not?
Just because we didn't apply for it.
No. The shelter house is a part of the park, therefore, it should be included. The shelter house is not independently owned. It belongs
It
to the
sits
village
on
of
the
Belmont,
park
and it's a part
property.
of that park.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
but we didn't apply for anything for the park except when you put in your application, you put in for what you want. And we thought that it was more important to have the handicapped restrooms. So the restrooms that are there, which are pretty funky, will be torn down, and then new handicapped restrooms will be built in the same place. And at the time, we thought that the village was going to be able to take care of refinishing the floor out of its own funds, and that was really about all that the shelter house needed, so we just didn't include it.
If you're working the restrooms, they are a part of the shelter house.
Yes.
Right.
So how can you say it's
Well,
not?
and is that
included?
something that you can still work with with your engineers? Do you know, Bart, if maybe the engineers can still say, okay, we've
We'd
got a
have
little
to
bit,
ask, and the other thing we would have to find
You
out
could
is,
put,
the amount has been
you can
approved.
put the
What we
restrooms
actually do
anywhere
with
you
it.
want. You can put them where the kitchen is now, and then the kitchen would have to be moved somewhere else.
Well, but,
Why would I want to do that?
yeah,
and we would need to get some clarification.
Right, and-
Because the reason we didn't include the baseball park in it is we weren't allowed to charge any money for anything over there.
oh,
Right.
If the
Okay.
and if
state
we're,
did a
if
grant,
we're renting out
Sorry.
the shelter house, that
Would-
might be a section.
they may not let
So
us
that is
charge.
something that,
Yeah, we've got.
So the shelter house is on its own. Is what-
That's what they're saying,
That's
but
what
I
it
don't,
amounts to.
I have to disagree with that.
okay, well, we can, ask them to look into that and talk to their engineers and see what else they can find out, and maybe see a grant. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think
It's not set in stone, it's just, we
And-
applied for this amount, this is what we planned for, but we just didn't write anything into the grant that included the shelter house except for the restroom. So, it's just not included in it right now.
And so when those monies start getting decided to where the actual monies are going, they have an idea, we sent that out to the public, and they all had their ideas, what they wanted out there. There's still gonna be that meeting for the town to come in and say, no, we really want this, or we want that, and so those things will change a little bit, depending on what more the
Right,
public says.
once the ball gets rolling, right?
Right,
And didn't we
And
ask
just being
that
a reference.
question about being able to rent it, and they said they'd have to check into that?
I think that's correct.
so, well, I think it would be important for you guys to keep this consideration under,
Right.
when you look more into it.
Well, the problem with renting it, we can always ask for a donation.
Oh, instead of renting?
Instead of renting, ask for a donation instead of the amount that you like donated, you know?
Oh, I see.
I don't think anybody,
I think we better stick to the charge, yeah.
Okay.
4 for 3. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
back to that, the church,
Yeah.
that's just an open discussion that you guys have had and decided that, that church you're willing to give them, 4 nights for $150.
Yeah.
It should be $150 a
I
month.
mean, that suits me, I don't, I'm the only, well, me and Barbara.
I make the motion, we accept that, present that.
And then their next question was that if we did agree to that, if they could get any kind of reimbursement for what they paid, but actually where we would be now, would they be caught up current if we wanted to do something like that?
If we wanted
Their
to.
first Sunday was Memorial Day,
So they've had 3 meetings already, so the next one would be free,
free,
and then we would, do that.
if people were agreeable to that, they wanted me to find out.
Would you like to drink?
Forgive me, but Peggy, I have a question that you might know more how to handle for me. that is not on my agenda for us to vote on that. This is an open discussion that the board is deciding that yes, they will give this, party this renting right. So, is there any legality there? I don't have to put it to a vote. It's just a discussion that you all are having, the 6 trustees. And so then it's just an agreement on yourself that the parking.
We can do it like that, or since they are gonna get this week free anyway, if we do that, they just don't pay a week, and then we put it on next month's agenda.
As a vote.
And, yeah. they
Okay.
just don't pay a week until we decide.
Yeah, then
And
they'll,
then-
like, they'll decide if that's for them, if they want to do that.
But it looks like they'll pass.
I'm pretty
so-
sure they'll be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, did the church ask for that?
No,
Yes,
I can't core it in. They inquired
if they could have a discount for being.
for me to get it every Sunday.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I
It'd be a
do
good
too.
idea, because, you know, there's
Okay.
3 ones we're gonna get every month.
Right.
And, you know, there will always be 4 guaranteed, because if they don't have it, that means someone else is put for it. You know,
It was
so.
the group that's starting out, $200 a month is a lot to come up with there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and it's hard, so, yeah, I said that, you know, it looks like it's gonna pass, but we're, you know, let's put it on the agenda for next month and approve it, and I can just,
Okay. Forgive me but I was just really unsure to do that. when we were
you
trying
take
to
a
do it.
vote on something that's not on there.
Right, so that's why, there was no motion, it was a discussion, and you guys have granted them that week, next week, and it'll be on next month's agenda for a vote. Okay, is there, anything else that anyone would like to share? The, new business is the delegation of trustees, to say who wants to do what, to share some responsibility. And I have not heard from anyone, no, I take that back, I have heard that Barbara would like to stay on the park. I don't have a problem with that, we've done well with that, so I think we'll leave her for park. So are we still have financials and roads, water, and employee. So we have 4 other categories that I need folks to step up and help me out with.
Maybe the mayor's representative.
Well, what is the financials responsibility?
You work with the, treasurer, which we have a bookkeeper, and if you see anything on here that's questionable,
We have a treasurer and a bookkeeper?
we do not have a treasurer. We are still looking for a treasurer. A treasurer can hold on a little more responsibility than what our bookkeeper does. Our bookkeeper is simply doing our paperwork for us.
So the
treasurer-
bookkeeper does what work, and the person over the financial department
You would
does
help
what?
us look for grants, the financial, you'd look for grants, you'd, make sure this, help with the CDs, that things are getting moved properly and getting invested, not sitting idle. Looking for, really, a lot of it's grant. You're looking for opportunities to help us grow and,
Like an economic development.
Yeah.
financial. But actually, the mayor's over the employee. And
okay,
there's also another job is, bill bills and
I'm
maintenance.
objecting,
and the floor is
Well,
wide
they're all
open.
those.
can't work under Linda, sorry.
Buildings and what?
The floor is wide
Maintenance,
open.
maintenance,
Buildings and maintenance is also a department, but as far as the employees, the mayor's always over the employees. She
So-
can have someone that help, but
Anybody got preference on what department they want?
I would
You got
try
any-
finance.
Do you
since
just
I'm
have
not
one
really
on one?
able to do
Yeah,
it.
fishing department.
And I do not have to, put everybody over something, but I do need the willingness of the trustees to, help when, something is needed. I will ask that, Katie just said she would do finances. I am pleased with that. And,
I can help you with the parts if you ever need any help. I mean, I'd be willing to help, you know,
Okay.
where help is needed, like
And-
ride it on or, you know.
in the past, Linda had done, roads, and, I would like to ask Herschel to, either do water and sewer, or roads. You just have to, know what needs to be done and when it needs to be done and help us maintain.
Well, I feel like person should step into the job that they're capable of doing.
Mhm.
So you don't want somebody that's better at using a digging shovel to do financials or something like that.
Right.
So,
And I agree. And so Peggy's gonna be doing financials. Herschel, at this time, I will ask you to.
I'll do water.
Water and sewer, thank you.
Water.
Um,
Sewer, I guess
okay.
if I have to.
all right, thank you.
And
And,
we'll all help in each one, we at least do help each other.
yeah. And then on, the next would be roads.
I'll
Jerry?
take that. I don't like to be in charge of that stuff, but I'll be glad to help anytime, you know,
Yes,
just like when you ask me to help.
right.
But
Well, you know, I don't have a problem of helping, like Linda and I went and checked to see what roads needed to be done and so forth. And so that's why I would really expect you to, help me know what roads are needing to be done. And then I will help with the process of the paperwork and, getting our resolutions in and so forth.
so that's streets and alleys, isn't it?
Uh-huh, yep,
Oh, Alice?
yep.
That's what I was with
Kind of
15
over.
years ago when I was on this board.
Yay! Where were you when I was trying to get this figured out for this year?
Because I told you I didn't want to be.
Okay, let's move on, so we've got that settled.
It's called this configurable router, it's like, you know,
Yeah,
what
give-
we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to learn how to do the water levels and the chlorine, because I think that if all of us know a little bit on an emergency or something, you know,
Mhm.
I think it would be good for all of us to be able to turn the water off or
Right.
whatever. I would
Actually,
love to learn.
Linda, I'm gonna be, setting up a program where, all the trustees get a training of, some of the village work that has to be done and the
Yay.
safety guidelines and so forth. I'm gonna be contracting someone to come in, OSHA, a trainer, and come in and work with us all. And we'll just have a classroom visit to do this so that we're just aware. It's the cheapest way to do it, and it's not saying anyone has to do it, all of this, but because we're all considered employees, we need to be aware.
And know how to do it if somebody's sick or somebody's in the hospital, God forbid.
I don't know how quickly I will get that set up during the summer, or if it's for vacationing and so forth, but that is on the schedule to get an in-house class.
Yeah, because I'd like to be versatile. I mean, I like to be able to ride the mower, do whatever, you know,
Okay.
help you with
One of the reasons I
something.
don't want to get charged, because I don't intend to be around here very much.
I
I'll be
understand.
gone most of the time.
Well, and-
Would have been tonight, too.
And that's the way it ought to be for a board, you know, we,
Well, I think that's what people don't understand, because you're not gonna be doing this stuff. But
Yeah, I know
you
that.
need to know that.
That's why I said I did this 15, 20 years ago.
Just talk it through on the phone.
If you see a problem, report it, and then shoot them.
yeah, because, I mean, I'm not gonna catch everything, and so you bring it to me, and then I'm like, oh, we gotta.
Sure, I can help him too.
I'm
you know,
sure
if he's
now that's
gone,
not true.
I can share it with him, and you know, if he's going.
Right, if you've got a concern, then you know who to go to, and then,
We all know who to call.
okay,
What about buildings and maintenance? You got one board member left that hasn't said,
I will. I think he said he went fishing, and I didn't see that on the schedule.
is that close to buildings and maintenance? It's
That
really
would,
closely related, isn't
Sounds
it?
like it.
that would be fine. How about that? Buildings and maintenance,
That'd be fine.
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks for stepping up, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, next on the, agenda is the 25-26 budget. Presented to you was last year's budget opposed to this year's budget. what we do is anticipate what is coming up, expenses we know we're gonna have. And if we don't really know of anything, usually we consider a 5% increase, and so that amount would probably be about 5% more. Did anyone see anything on the budget they did not agree with, or they thought we needed to, add to? Did anyone check her math?
Correct, yes. I already brought this to Claudia's attention.
Okay.
But on 2025, there wasn't a payroll tax under, the general fund administrative expense, and it's listed on the 26th. And it's like, $2,600, so, but she showed me where she moved that to another area, so.
What was
I
it?
just wanted to make sure.
Payroll
On the
taxes under
25
general.
budget, there was no payroll tax, so I don't know if that, I just.
Would that be under administrative?
That's where it is now.
It's under on the 26th, but it wasn't on 25, so.
It's been moved,
Okay.
and so it is.
And other than that, I think that's all I saw that I had any questions about. I mean, the numbers fluctuate a little bit for me, so.
What I found from, last year's audit, was, you know, we anticipate spending so much, and then when we go over, then it's like, oh, well, you went over. So it's best for us to know, have a good prediction of what we're gonna actually spend, and stay within that means, than to find out that we went much over and we're, that doesn't look good on us.
I got a question.
Okay?
On the waterworks system fund,
Mm-hmm.
24 for total budgeted expenditures for the fiscal year 24 is $47,742. For the 25 fiscal year, total budgeted expenditures were $27,000 higher.
Well, we know right off the bat this year that we're replacing a, sewer pump at the lift station. And we've had multiple water leaks, and, right now I have like possibly 3 water leaks pending, so that's gonna grow,
Okay, my question though is, second question,
okay?
is the grant expense of $30,000, has that been pulled before this report was printed out? And is that why it's showing to be this amount, $74,320, because that has been paid?
The grant expense, is that the 30,000 that we're anticipating on the EPA forgiveness, EPA loan forgiveness?
I don't know, I just know it was on.
Yes, it's on water.
So, the question is, was that paid by the time this was tallied up, when she did?
This is
This is 24, this is
ended.
25,
This is what we anticipate,
right,
okay,
so it's not been paid yet.
to us, no.
Is it under income
Well,
or
no,
expense?
it's an expenditure. It is for the town to pay $30,000.
I'm not seeing it
On the page where it says at the top, Waterworks System Fund.
Oh, the unrestricted cash and investments available.
And then at very, not very bottom, but down towards the bottom, it says grant expense, $30,000.
Okay, that's 24. And on 24, there was, that was not on there. But she had put it on 25 because, oh, he got the 25 page. He's got the 25 page, the grant expense. Yes.
And so,
I see that now on the
So,
26.
Claudia, I'm not sure what that grant expense is, that 40,000.
It was on the.
Oh, it was on the, where they took the lid. We got the grant for the lid, to check the lid. And that was right at 30,000.
It was on the year-end
Oh, the
expenses.
year-end expenses, and
Mhm.
that's where it come from.
I had a question about it too, but I know it was on the year-end expenses.
But we wouldn't have that in 26. We
But
wouldn't
that
need
was,
on the-
that was a mandatory thing for this grant to go through, right? Right.
Right.
That's all
But
I see
what
have
you're
questions
saying
about.
is that should not be on the 25, 26 expenditure.
Cause that was given
Because
in
that's already
24, 25.
being given to us and used.
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so Claudia, we would like,
So we're gonna strike
we
that.
would make the correction there.
Not fuel, but water.
Here. That's Barb's copy of it.
Should get another.
And because there's a lot there on the budget, we can, we'll review it in this evening compared to last month, or last year's, and we can always hold it, and, if any more questions come in between now and next month, and then we can present it to the board for approval next month. Yes, Linda?
I have a question on the street maintenance expenditures.
Mhm.
And from May 1st to April 25th, it was $8,000, $340 for sealing, I guess, the streets. But on, from this year to April 26th, we have 26,000.
Uh-huh. Remember, the budget is what we're expecting to be able to spend last year. And last year at that time, when that was being made, we had a motor fuel resolution made, and that's all that we were going to be spending on chip and seal last year. It did not happen. And so now this year, it's a higher expense because not only did we have those roads we were going to do, but we have more.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why this year's budget is higher.
It's for 26,000?
Chip and seal. Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
And remember, the budget is just what we are anticipating.
Okay.
And we're anticipating, now I hope we stay within that chip and seal of 26. We approved the resolution last month, and, we have to stay within those means.
Well, in some of the areas on those streets, it seems like it needs a larger area. You know what I'm saying? That there will be a whole bunch of holes.
Well, when
that
you chip
need
and
to be-
seal,
You know.
well, we can't afford to asphalt all the roads.
Oh,
But the chip
if
and
you
seal is gonna make a big difference. there.
yeah, but if you asphalt that area, you shouldn't have to. It'll be more of an area that instead of 3 holes
Yeah,
that sink in right
trust
away.
me, a small village like us, we can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
This is the method that we can afford to use. A lot of small villages, municipalities do it like this. We patch and then we chip and seal.
Mhm.
We can't afford to asphalt like Mount Carmel does, some of the bigger
Are
towns.
you kidding? Have you seen the roads in that car?
Well, and they're
That
scheduled,
one is a high
they're
pitch
scheduled
thing.
for their road work on the 23rd.
We should travel along behind and
So,
get some of the stuff.
I need to know it from the, way it goes back up at Effingham Canyon, which came down here several times, when I was on the board before. And that was brought to her attention, why couldn't you just asphalt one road at a time? She said, well, yeah, you could afford to do that, but you couldn't afford to maintain asphalt
Oh,
roads.
yes,
You
that
could
would,
not afford to maintain an asphalt road at the time.
okay, so, I think that, because there was a few questions on the budget, would the board like another month to review it and I present it to the board next month? Or are we all pretty well okay with it, except for the, 30,000 that she realizes that was granted on 24 and not in this one, not in 25, 26.
And then the payroll tax.
And the payroll tax is, it's in another location, but it is on there.
Those are wait till it gets fixed, and then we go on.
I know that we wait, we may have more questions that come up. I mean, I just, to be honest with you, I just started looking at it this afternoon.
And I haven't had a chance to recheck her math, and I know last year, I did find a couple of clerical errors and she fixed them before I presented it to you. But, this month I did not get a chance to check her math. So, as far as the verbiage of what's on there, her and I did discuss it, and I'm pretty much aware of the expenses that we were encountering. So, all right, at this time then, I will not ask for a motion for the budget. We will ask that it goes on next month's agenda. And if anyone else has any more questions or sees something more that needs to be done in the village, please let the clerk or myself know as we continue to revise the budget.
I just got one little question, it probably doesn't mean anything, but why do we have two expenses for office supplies?
On the budget,
On the one that, the one that I read, they had like 300 something for office supplies, and then someplace else is another for two different things. Why is not office supplies all in one spot?
I can't tell you why this one is higher than the others, because I don't understand that. I took these figures off of what was actually spent last year, but the trash and the water and the sewer all get billed on one bill. And so, 12 times out of you have 12 billings that go out a year, and so they rotate. So 1 month you bill trash for it, 1 month you bill water for it, and 1 month you bill sewer for it.
the stamps, the envelopes, so those three accounts share the expense of mailing.
And it includes postage and envelopes and paper to print everything on. And so they should all be the same. Why it's not the same, I don't know, but
That was my question, why do we have two office supply expenses?
you'll
Well, I
have three because
remember-
it gets split among the three.
Wasn't it last year you bought office supplies from a business in Mount Carmel for something that you needed?
Wow.
Printing, does
Golden
just
printing.
printing and
Golden
code
printing, yeah.
books and
Yeah.
whatever else?
That's
Is that part of it?
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, office supplies are office supplies, no matter what area they go to.
Well, because we do share the expense through the other two accounts. We have water and sewer and trash pay for it,
Mhm.
and general fund.
That makes
Yeah,
sense
if we-
to you, but not
if
to
we-
me.
If we had a bunch of copies made at Corwin, then that would have gone on to the general
That's what I
fund.
was
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that, so.
That was something that was started several years ago to share that expense. I think it's approximately $87 a month to mail out our bill.
Yeah.
So,
That was just my question, 'cause I just didn't see a reason for two different expense accounts for office supplies, because we're all one office.
mhm.
It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better.
I'll talk to the bookkeeper and see if she has any other.
One office is managed and three.
Someday we'll be on that automatic water
Yeah.
Yeah.
meter
I
system.
didn't realize that part, but you know, that's not all one office expense. Should be all coupled together.
The office ought
Office
to have
expenses
its own
are office
expenses.
expenses, yeah.
Okay. Next on the, agenda is the 23 audit. It has not been presented to us yet. It is not available. I will continue to put it on the agenda every month until it is, so that we can pass it as quickly as we can, providing, Janet will come and actually read it to us, explain it to us, and we'll review it before she brings it. And, but we really need the audit to move on, because if they don't get passed, or completed and passed timely, we may miss out on some of these grants that we've applied for. We're okay with our EPA loan for the tower painting and the VCEO. It's still in the air. If they don't get that audit ready for us, we might find ourselves in trouble. And Janet is very much aware of that, and she is corresponding with the engineer. So I will continue to put it on there every month. And so as soon as I have it, I will get it to everyone to review, so we can have any questions and so forth, and go with that as quickly as we can.
The state legislature is aware that having an audit done, they've added a lot of extra regulations and things for audits. And also one of the things that adds an expense to audits is that there has to be a peer reviewer. So after Wattler finishes an audit for a particular time, 1 year period, then it also has to be peer reviewed by another company that is certified to do audits. And not every accountant around is certified to do audits. They only apply to do audits because they want to, and they're certified to do it, but not everybody does it. So you have a limited number of companies that will do audits, and the prices are going up because the restrictions, the regulations for doing audits they have added a lot more things that have to be done. So the state legislature is aware that it's a real pain for the small communities, and so there's legislation being considered that if you are a town of less than 1,000 people or less, that you don't have to have an audit done, that you instead submit an annual budget. And if that goes through, that would save us a whole lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
But it hasn't passed yet.
For our newcomers, notice that this is the 23 audit. In reality, we should be turning in 25 work and be waiting to approve 25 audits. So we're now going to be 3 audits behind. And trust me, Claudia and I are doing the best we can to keep on our auditors to try to keep this moving so that we can get this done. It got held up in 22. The auditor held it for a year before he realized he wasn't going to get it done because changes came upon him that he couldn't meet the standards. And then it went to a new auditor. And finding that new auditor, we were getting estimates of like $18,000, $23,000 to do an audit, which was outrageous. We cannot afford that. We were accustomed to paying like $2,000 for an audit. Currently, I believe our audit is $4,000 with Janet Story, but and even that's high. But they gave us that for 3 years, so they did 22, 23, 24. So I hope when they do the 25 audit, they still honor that same size, because that's where we are. So.
And they lost an employee on their audit team also.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't trust you.
Thank you, sir.
So you don't have to keep saying trust me.
Pardon me, I don't. Okay, be careful with that. Figure speech. Okay, then, at this time, we need to go into closed session to discuss employee status. May I have a motion to go into closed session? Wait, you have a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to see if someone has anything to say before we go in closed session?
I have
That
nothing
way,
to say, and I'm
Oh,
getting ready
because
to
the
leave.
floor, public comments, you're
Yeah,
asking me
the
public
public
comments?
Just
floor.
lock your door. You have to close it, so you can't.
We still have the around the table,
You can't have it.
yeah, so, okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Great job,
Tracy.
thank you.
Thank you.
Jump up and lock the door, Gary.
Well, I
Right.
can't lock the door, but we can have a closed meeting.
Um,
So someone comes in, you can't.
We're fine.
You've gotta
Lock the
go.
door and we're fine, right?
Actually, folks, so may I have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I will ask you all to stand in, the time, Claudia? Closed session.
7:35.
And we'll walk into the kitchen area. Please.
Can we sit?
Yeah, put it on.
I'll get out your way here. Hang on.
Usually I have to take the computer and all that stuff, but it doesn't work anyway, so no wait. Sorry, I didn't make any.
Come on, dear. Nope. They can do it without me.
We're down to the session tonight.
Yes, in Wayne City. Well, no, at Fairfield, she's pitching for the high school. Mm-hmm.
It's the grant?
Well, they're just starting the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's not pitching for the high school, it's,
Is it travel ball?
It's for school ball, no.
Oh, okay.